Hi, in this video, I'm going to walk through what it looks like to create the SGPS newsletters. So these are newsletters that are sent out to all graduate students, faculty, and staff, as well as several other individuals, including the campus bookstore manager and the librarians. When you're working on creating these newsletters, you can go to the School of Graduate and Professional Studies OneDrive file, and you can go to Newsletter and you will go to 2025 to 2026. I have the Access Canva templates document, or you can also access them by clicking on the schedule. And this is going to have all the information that you will need each month to create graphics. So I'll walk through this chart quickly. Here is the month, and you can see the months are hyperlinked. So when you follow those links, it will take you to the corresponding Canva document. And then here you'll find information for the program shout out and a recommendation of who should be highlighted. The student services update, this is done by Lindsay Grimm, and you can access her email from here. So anywhere that a name is highlighted, if you click on that, you can email them directly. Information about the faculty and staff spotlights, the book podcast article review, student alumni spotlight, campus bookstore spotlight, and a recommendation of when you request those responses by. So I will go through an example. So let's go to August. All right, so I'm just going to quickly walk through what the newsletter will look like. Feel free to change out this image if you would like. So you can just select the image, right click, and detach the image if you'd like to replace it with something else. I try to find something seasonal that kind of matches when we're in fall, summer, winter, spring, but again, feel free to change that out. So this first section is going to be filled out by Jen, and she may sometimes change out this picture as well to reflect what she's saying. The program shout out, this is where you're going to reach out to the director of that program and ask them to share about a highlight, a recent accomplishment, helpful information about the program. Maybe they were just at a conference, maybe they just added a new course, or if there's nothing new necessarily to add, even just sharing something about the course that not many people may know. So you will request that from the corresponding program director. And when you request responses, you can invite them to either directly fill their information into the Canva document. And to let them do that, you would go up to the share button. And if it's not set to anyone with the link can edit, you would click the drop down and change it to that. Don't make it for Messiah University because not everyone is going to have used their Messiah University email to set up their Canva account. And then you would just copy the link and send that to them. Or if they're more comfortable with it, they can email you the information and you can just go in here and add it yourself. So program shout out, you'll want to reach out to the program director for that. Student services update, again, this will be done by Lindsay Grimm. She often goes in here and fills this out, or you can. The email Lindsay button will direct students to her email. If something ever changes with that, all that you have to do is right click this box. You would go down to where it says link or edit link, and then you would enter her Messiah email in there. The student spotlight, so this will already have been done for you for August, but each month we try to spotlight a student or an alumni. So if it's an alumni, you can just change this from student to alumni, but you'll put their name there, the name of their program, and then some information about them. So I like to try and have the student spotlight be a student from the program that was just spotlighted. So we spotlighted the physical therapy DSC program. So we are spotlighting a student who is in that program. It doesn't always work out for that to happen, but it's great when it does. So you can either ask the program director if they have someone in mind, or if you have someone in mind, maybe just check in with them, with the program director, just to let them know as well. Normally, I include the program that they're in, what they're involved in outside of school, why they like the program, why they find that the field that they're in is valuable, and maybe a fun fact about themselves. So for the faculty spotlight, you have space here to spotlight 2 faculty members, but you can also edit this. So maybe you only have 1 faculty member. So you might delete all this and just expand this to be 1. If there's a new faculty member who's joined the program, this is a great place to spotlight them. If there's not a new faculty member, you can check in with Jen and to see maybe there is a faculty accomplishment to highlight. So for example, one time we highlighted a PT and OT professor who worked together to do Adapt Tango, which is a class that's offered for individuals with Parkinson's disease. And we spotlighted what they're working on together. Or if there doesn't appear to be anyone to spotlight for the month, you can always just delete this page. The media mix, this is books, podcasts, articles. So I made some recommendations in that schedule of who to ask. But really, this is just a chance to have a faculty, staff member, or even student kind of give a review on a book that they've enjoyed recently, a podcast, an article. It's great if it can be related somewhat to academics or to leadership, professional development, something like that. Something related to spiritual growth as well. So I did a media mix review this year, and I reviewed Don't Waste Your Life by John Piper, which is focused on spiritual growth. So you can include a picture of the book or podcast or article here if you're able to, or maybe just put in a generic picture of a podcast microphone, something like that. This you will want to change out because if it is a book, you will want to change out the link that it goes to. So again, you would right click, you would select link, and you would put in a link to Amazon or wherever you find the book. If it's a podcast or an article, if there's a place to access that, change the text here to say listen on iTunes or whatever that might be. Now, I have gone through for each of the Canva templates and put in a Bible verse for each of those. But again, if you feel like a different scripture would be better, please feel free to edit that. This is our staff spotlight area. So again, if there's not a staff member that you're able to spotlight, similar to the faculty feature, you can just delete this page for the month, but it would be get to know their name, meet their name, and then include their role in the office they're a part of. These are the questions that you can email to the staff member. And then at the bottom, after you fill in their answers, put their picture here. We want to direct students to learn more about that particular office or service. So you will want to include a QR code to their webpage. And the way that you'll add a QR code, you'll go over to this left-hand column. And there should be an option for QR code. If there's not, click on Apps and search QR code. This feature is great because it's actually a part of Canva, so you can put the URL in here, you can customize the color, generate that code, and students will be able to learn more about the office. And finally, this is a great spot to include some pictures. So trying to include some photos from different programs and then including a little caption about them. You can always feel free if you don't have 6 photos, maybe you want to delete this box. These are all connected together, so you would need to delete the entire grid. But then what you could do instead is go over again to the left-hand side. You can scroll up and go to Elements. And when you click on Frame, this provides a bunch of different frames that you can put your pictures into, and so you can make a completely different looking gallery if you prefer. So the way that I recommend you do this is that each month, either at the beginning of the month or maybe even a week or 2 before the start of the month, is to send an email, and you'll want to send an email to Jen, to Lindsay, to the program director who you're planning to request information from that month, and just remind them that you need their submissions. And I would recommend for the program director to just say, could you please provide a program shout out? And could you please recommend a student or alumni for us to follow or for us to highlight? Then you'll want to check in with Jen about faculty and staff members to spotlight. You can also ask her if you have any questions about who you should email for the media mix. You may want to do a separate email for that just because that might be a little bit more of an extensive explanation to that individual, just explaining what all the media mix is, what you're looking for. And then over the month, keep an eye out for different photos that come your way. Maybe request some photos that you can place there. Once you have everything filled out in your PDF, normally I try to have this done by the third week of the month at the latest, but sometimes submissions take a little bit of time to get in, but it's great if it can go out by the last week of the month. You will want to go to Share, Download, and to download this as a PDF standard. And then you will want to share that downloaded PDF with Rebecca Ostby, and she will take care of sending it out in a mass email to all the grad students, faculty, and staff. When you send the email to Rebecca, make sure that you CC Jen as well. They can provide any final edits before she sends that out. So that's a little bit of what it looks like when you are doing the monthly SGPS newsletter. Go into the schedule and see who you should be reaching out to. Go into the template and reach out to those individuals, fill out the different sections, and then save it as a PDF and send it off to Rebecca and Jen. Hope that's helpful. Thanks so much.